to the draft, why not see the entire landscape? So open up the portal, see what opportunities are there, go into all these pre-draft workouts, go through the routine, see where you're going to be, see what, Rich Paul and company, what they're going to talk about as it relates to what potential teams you could go to. If that's, late first round, early second, and then weigh out all your options. I think it's a smart move. I'm not going to jump to conclusions by saying Bronny's definitely going to the draft. He's just seeing what the entire landscape looks like.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Your boys, JT and K-Dub here. We back from in the arena. Breaking news, Bronny enters the transfer portal. Now listen, I'm not surprised by this news in any sense of the word. USC was terrible this past year. Even though they had some great players in Boogie Ellis, number one player in the country, I always forget his name. Forgive me. He's probably going to the NBA draft, so he's going to be going anyway. But USC was horrible. I thought it was dope that Bronny was able to play in LA with LeBron on the Lakers. I mean, that's probably like the first father-son duo in the same city. And then for it to be LA, of all places, dope. But I got to make a prediction of where Bronny would go. I've heard Ohio State when I'm looking in the comments. Of course, LeBron James is from Ohio, but that's not where he was going to go to college. LeBron said he would have went to Duke had he went to college. So you know what? I'm thinking about my Duke Blue Devils, how we made it to the Elite Eight. Carolina fans, don't be talking junk. Y'all made it to the Sweet 16. Those banners don't look the same. I think Bronny is going to Duke. I think you put him with Isaiah Evans. You put him with Cooper Flag, and you've got a national championship basketball team. What are your thoughts on it, Doug?
I mean, USC wasn't a good team. Granted, Bronny was a freshman, and coming into the season, he was having some heart issues. So I'm glad he was able to get that rectified. Hopefully, I hope it's fully rectified. Seems like he made a full recovery. But he only averaged 4 points per game. And
in limited minutes.
Yes, in limited minutes, on a sorry team. So I look at Bronny as more of a natural defender, more so than a scorer. He's not a scorer in my opinion. He can shoot from the three pretty well. He's good at creating space and he's pretty athletic, but his strong suit is really his defense. Could I see him at Duke? Nah, it's too packed. We got too much talent, and I think the talent is far greater than Bronny's. I can see Bronny going to a smaller school. I don't know necessarily where, but I think it would be somewhere in that California area. I don't think he's going to go too far from California. I know LeBron stated that Bronny has some very tough decisions to make. That could be a departure from California. I don't know. I think for him as a young man, I think it would be great for him to get outside of the state of California and kind of be out, not necessarily on his own, but kind of just in his own space, away from family. And for me, I think that would help him develop from a maturity perspective and transitioning to manhood. So I don't know, man. I don't see him at Duke though. No.
And Isaiah Collier. Sorry, Isaiah. Isaiah is a great basketball player. I don't know why I always confuse his name, but Isaiah Collier is the point guard, potential lottery pick from USC that Bronny played with. I think Duke works because we don't have a dog. And I think when healthy, when, he's coming off that hard scare, his minutes were limited early in the season. It's still his freshman season, so he still needed to adjust. But I think Bronny got that dog in him. And we don't got no dog. Tyrese Proctor, I think he regressed this year a little bit. I think he's going to need to go back in the lab. Jared McCain had a breakout season. I think he could leave and go to the league. I think it's apparent that he'll do that. And then Filipowski is probably 60-40. I think it's more certain that Jared McCain is going to leave than Filipowski. Because I think even though Filipowski had a great season, I don't think it ended the way he wanted it to end. So I think it's all about him as a player, how much that matters to him, whether he comes back or not. But he's still going to be a top draft pick, first-round draft pick if he goes, I believe. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. I think there's a spot for Bronny. You know, leadership-wise, we're going to have a lot of freshmen. I think, again, when healthy in a full season, he's going to be similar to what Jared McCain was for us. Athletic-wise, I think they have a similar athletic build, and I think he can shoot the ball probably almost as well as Jared McCain, and I think it will fill a gap for us. So it'll be interesting. You know, and again, I said almost as well. I'm not comparing their skill sets. I don't think Bronny is as great of a shooter, but I think he can come into that role and excel in that role because he's going to put in the work, and he got the trainers and everybody behind him. So that's my thoughts on it. Dub said it's going to be a small school, maybe in California, maybe somewhere outside of it. Bronny, if you haven't thought about it, man, if you don't want to go to Duke, if that's not an option, think about an HBCU. HBCU basketball has really improved. You got Shaq's son at Texas Southern. Grambling did their thing, making it to the tournament. So, I mean, that might be a great opportunity as well, checking out some HBCUs. And there's a great one in North Carolina, a couple great ones in A&T, Winston-Salem State, Johnson C. Smith, a few. Of course, we know Bronny ain't going to Johnson C. Smith, but some of the major ones that are playing in some of those larger conferences like the CAA might be a good opportunity. Listen, we give it to you straight here. All we need is 3 things from you. That's CLS treatment. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll be back with more from In the Arena.